Hours after Olivia was born, she died in her mum Julie's arms. 20 years later, Julie looks back and says she didn't realise her daughter was not going to survive.
If they'd have been honest with me from the start that she wasn't going to make it, I'd have spent all that time with her, but I didn't. It wasn't even half an hour, not even half an hour holding her.
It was May 2002 when Julie went into labour at the Royal Shrewsbury Hospital. What should have been a straightforward delivery turned into a nightmare. Olivia was in the wrong position and the doctor wanted to move her using a suction cup. But when that failed, he used forceps.
He was supposed to then take me straight to section. He didn't. He went in with the forceps twice. The first time he went in with the forceps, they came off with a clang, and then he went straight back in again. And when he went in again, my husband had me under the arms, pulling me up the bed, because I was being pulled down the bed with the forceps.
Mistakes were made and Olivia was born brain damaged with severe bruising and swelling.
She was perfectly healthy right up until then. And she just, they told me if she had survived, she would never have known who I was.
The doctor who delivered Olivia was later charged but cleared of manslaughter by gross negligence. Julie is now part of an independent inquiry investigating the maternity experiences of more than 1,500 families at the Royal Shrewsbury and Telford NHS Trust.
Olivia will forever now just be a statistic of the failings of this trust. That's going to be hard for me, because how can someone not be responsible?
Pippa Cartwright is helping her 15-year-old son, Louis, get dressed. Louis was born with Erb's palsy. He can't feel or use his right arm. Pippa says when he was born, she was supposed to have a C-section.
I was prepped to have a C-section, but then I was told that they'd done their quota for the day, so I couldn't have a C-section. I remember being in labour. I was violently sick and I got told off by the midwife because I'd been sick on the floor. Then it was all panic stations. I remember my legs being flung back and a midwife sitting on my stomach and pressing down, and I remember the doctor had his foot on the end of the bed and he had Louis' head between his hands and he was pulling me down the bed and the midwife was pulling me back up the bed. And then obviously Louis was born and obviously he had a severe injury.
And how did you feel?
Angry. Yeah, very angry. It took a few years for me to, because I felt guilty because of the injury that Louis got. I thought it was my fault for years. I blamed myself.
Louis has had to have 22 operations. This injury has changed his life.
Can't play football no more, properly anyway. Can't do things I want like basketball and that. Difficult to get jobs. Showering's even difficult.
The full extent of failings in maternity care at Shrewsbury and Telford NHS Trust will be revealed in a report today. Balvinder Sidhu for GB News.